Welcome back to the Kossi Arsenal channel. My name is Kossi. Welcome back to a brand new video. Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein have just revealed Arsenal's transfer summer plans, and they are absolutely amazing, but also confusing at the same time. In this video, we're going to be revealing what Fabrizio has said, what David Ornstein has said about what Arsenal are doing this summer. What is the plan? What are we planning in terms of reinforcing the attack? What is the plan in terms of strengthening the midfield? And what is the plan in terms of getting that backline stronger? You know, Mikel Arteta, every single summer, he's going to have a plan to make his team unbreakable. Hit that button, subscribe to the channel as well. Both journalists have also talked about the fact that Arsenal will have to get a few contracts done quickly this summer, and Andre Bata is already working on that. But of course, both of them have also said that departures are going to be tricky, difficult, but they will happen, and they must happen this summer as well. So we're gonna be diving into all of that. Make sure you get your thoughts and opinions in the comment box below. So let's start off with Fabrizio Romano, and he says that the priority at Arsenal this summer has been confirmed as a new centre forward. This has also been confirmed by David Ornstein, speaking at NBC. He has also confirmed that Arsenal, right about the moment, are still focusing on getting a number 9 as their priority. Now, in terms of options, there is a vast range, and of course, Fabrizio gives you a couple of options: Alexander Isak, Viktor Gyokerez, and Benjamin Sesko. And those are the same options that David Ornstein has, but of course, he adds other alternatives, and he says that it is still undefined at the moment. Arsenal are not 100% sure and 100% locked onto Alexander Isak, and they're not 100% locked onto Viktor Gyokerez. They're working on the Viktor Gyokerez deal, they're working on the Benjamin Sesko deal, and they're working on the Alexander Isak deal as well. So a lot of work is being done on these positions, but this is what I can tell you at the moment. So David Ornstein says that Gyokerez is a priority. Fabrizio doesn't say that Gyokerez is a priority, but he says that Alexander Isak is still viewed as the number 1 priority inside the club. But David Ornstein says Viktor Gyokerez is the priority at the club, and he says Arsenal have to hurry to get this deal done, as a couple of clubs are very much interested, and the summer is closing in. A few clubs are now picking interest in Viktor Gyokerez. So he says that if they're going to sign him, there's a big chance that they'll get the deal done at about 80 million euros, but they're gonna have to be very, very quick. So I think the point of consensus between Fabrizio and Ornstein is that Arsenal's priority this summer is a centre forward, and this is why we brought in Andre Bata. This is why we brought in the best guy in the game, because our priority this summer was to get a new centre forward. So for people who have been out there urging Arsenal to get a centre forward, urging Arsenal to sign a striker, there you have it. The priority of the club is gonna be getting you a new centre forward. As well, there will be reinforcements coming in midfield, and of course, Fabrizio says that Martin Zubimendi is already a here we go. There is an agreement in principle with the club and the player as well. Arsenal are sure they'll get this one done, and in June, medical should be done, and he will be an Arsenal player. But for, where David Ornstein differs from Fabrizio on midfield reinforcements is about Thomas Partey. Now, Ornstein says that there will be a plan, and there is a plan for Arsenal to keep Thomas Partey, give him a new deal, and see him stay at the club for a little bit of a longer period, alongside Martin Zubimendi. But then he also says that Arsenal will look to add other options to the midfield if Thomas Partey leaves. And this means that with Jorginho and Partey, it is a like-for-like replacement. We've talked about this on the earlier video today about Arsenal's potential lineup with Martin Zubimendi. Go and watch that video. But essentially what this is Arsenal trying to keep the midfield as strong as it has been this summer. So if Thomas Partey decides to leave and not renew his deal, Arsenal are going to be looking at another defensive midfielder or a replacement for Thomas Partey, and that is where I'm not 100% sure. And that's why I've told you that the plans are really exciting, but they're also confusing and annoying at the same time. For me, this is the reason. First and foremost, Arsenal signing Martin Zubimendi is such a beautiful deal. It's such a high-profile deal. It means a lot in terms of the direction of the club. But If Thomas Partey was to leave, and even if Partey were to stay, Arsenal needed a number 10. We needed a creative player. But none of that has been talked about by Fabrizio, and none of that has been talked about by David Ornstein. And that means that there is a huge chance Arsenal get out of this summer once again without an attacking midfielder, without the profile that we know Arsenal need, that X factor, that Eberechi is the kind of guy, that Phil Foden kind of player, that Mesut Ozil kind of player. We might get out of this summer without one. So for me, I would say instead of Arsenal going for a like-for-like replacement for Thomas Partey, if Partey says he's going and Martin Zubimendi is coming in, why don't we just bite the bullet? Why don't we just try out something new? I mean, in defensive midfield, you've got Declan Rice. He's not the best of options in there, but he's a good player. He can play against a Luton Town. He can play against a Leicester City. He can play against a Sheffield United, and you're gonna win games. And then in games where you need, a highly technical DM, then Martin Zubimendi can step in. I think we have options at defensive midfield. Even without Martin Zubimendi coming in already, you have Declan Rice who's played there. You have Mikel Merino who's played there before. Not a great game, but he's played there before. I think Arsenal need to think offensive this summer. That is what we need to do. We need to raise the level of this club. We need to raise the level of this side in terms of offensive play, in terms of looking for goals, searching for goals, creating goals, and scoring goals. That's why I think that, yes, Partey staying is great, but if you were not to stay, Arsenal should not go for a like-for-like replacement. Arsenal should then go and sign a player like maybe Bilal El Khanous, Xavi Simons, some kind of the profile. Someone who can actually feed the attack line that we're trying to create. The third area of the plan is at left wing, and Fabrizio says that at left wing we shall see someone come in. That is for sure. Now Fabrizio saying that is for sure means that he is 100, because he says he's been told something will be done at left wing, and that is for sure. So it means that he's been told Arsenal will get at least a deal done for a wide attacker. When it comes to David Ornstein, he also says the same thing, that Arsenal will do something on the wide attacker. There is a lot of options we're looking at. Now, none of them says who is going to be, definitely. So both of them say Arsenal love Nico Williams, and we appreciate Nico Williams, but not Fabrizio, not David Ornstein. None of them says it's going to be this player for sure. And I think that is because Arsenal are yet to decide whether we are going to sign a really expensive left winger or a low budget left winger. Because when you look at the options that we have this summer, if you look at the players that we have been linked with, Nico Williams is about 50 million. Of course, you're going to have to pay it at once. That makes it difficult. But then we are linked with Gyokerez of about 42 million. So Nico Williams and Gyokerez are low price options, right? They are cheap options at left wing. But then think about Rafael. A player like Rafael has been linked. A player like Semenyo has been linked. And all these ones are 60 million euros and above. So maybe Arsenal are still trying to work out other areas. Maybe look at the center forward, who is going to come in and how much. Look at the midfield. Is Partey going to stay? If he stays and Zubimendi comes in, we save some money there. And then you look at the left back situation that we'll talk about. You look at the center back situation that we'll talk about. And then if Arsenal can spare about maybe 60 million, we might go for a very good winger. But if we remain with around 40 million, if we remain with around 38 million, then I won't be surprised to see Arsenal go for someone a little bit cheap. And again, I won't be surprised if at left wing, we are going to depend on departures. Now, Ornstein says that we have options, but a departure might be needed. Fabrizio doesn't even talk about departures. That means that for Fabrizio, he's got good intel. Arsenal will sign a left winger. With David Ornstein, he's got intel that a left winger will come in, but someone has to leave. So maybe because Arsenal are not sure who is going to go, maybe it's Trossard, maybe it's Martinelli, we aren't sure. If Martinelli leaves, do you go for someone like a Rafael? if Trossard leaves and Martinelli stays, do you go for someone like a Gittens? We'll see what Arsenal do. The fourth area is left back. Now, we don't have any names here, but Ryan Enori at Wolverhampton Wanderers has been linked. Milos Karkes has been linked. Joe, did I say Joe? The left back at Ajax, what's his name? Hato, right? Has been linked as well. So a left back, according to David Stein, will come in. And Fabrizio also says that Arsenal will do work at left back and they'll bring in some defenders as well. At centre back, work will be done as well. According to David Stein, he says Arsenal like the likes of Dean Hesson. Let's see if that is going to be done. So that is in terms of comings, plus a new goalkeeper, right? And David Stein has already told us that the plan is to bring in 2 new goalkeepers if Tommy Setford is going to be sent out on loan. Tommy Setford is the 3rd choice goalkeeper at Arsenal. So if he's going to be sent out, then Arsenal signed 2 new goalkeepers. So the plan is already clear. And my general reaction to the plan, it's okay, but it is lacking something. And these are the 2 things that I think are lacking in this plan. One, I think we are lacking enough offensive threat in terms of additions. I think a centre forward is good, but another should be a priority. 2 centre forwards. I think we should be looking at an attacking midfielder as well. And if we can get 2 wingers this summer, that would also be absolutely fantastic. I'm not saying go and splash 300 to 700 million. I'm saying if you can get Viktor Gyokerez and Jonathan David, that would be a very good summer. If you can get maybe a Leroy Sané on a free and maybe a Nico Williams, that would be a very good summer. But let's see what Arsenal are willing to do and what Arsenal will come out with in the summer. So in terms of outgoings, Fabrizio and David Stein also say that it's going to be a lot of work in terms of who's going to leave and who's going to stay. In terms of departures, the likes of Alexander Zinchenko, their futures have been decided. These players will be leaving. So Zinchenko will go. There is a chance that Jakub Kiwior will leave. Arsenal are 100% sure they want him to stay. Arsenal have been impressed with the way he has actually stepped up his form ever since Gabriel Magalhaes picked up that injury. But if a good offer comes in for Jakub Kiwior, they'll actually let him go. In midfield, I've told you, Thomas Partey, Arsenal are willing to keep him. But if something happens, Arsenal are then open to letting the player go. The same as Gabriel Martinelli, the same as Leandro Trossard. For me, this should be the definite departures at Arsenal. Players who must not stay at the club beyond this summer. Number 1, Neto in goal. He's not a bad player. He's done nothing wrong. He was brought in, we were told that he was brought in to push David Raya. He has done his job. David Raya has been one of the best goalkeepers in the world. But Neto to Bournemouth, he should go back. Raheem Sterling. Have I seen a bad signing? Yes. Have I seen a worse signing? Yes. Have I seen the worst signing at Arsenal? That could be Raheem Sterling. I don't know. I mean, we've had the likes of Sylvester. We have had the likes of King Kalastrom. I don't know, right? We have had the likes of Sebastian Tukulachi. But Sterling has got to go. And then, of course, Zinchenko for me, it's time for us to get some money out of that one. And then Kieran Tierney, it's time to leave. Jorginho, it's time to leave, right? Those are the easy decisions Arsenal have to deal with. In terms of the difficult ones, Martinelli, Leandro Trossard, those 2, you either keep both of them, keep none of them, or keep just one of them. Arsenal have got to make a very difficult decision there. Jakub Kiwior is also going to be a very difficult decision as well, but I hope we make the right choices. In terms of contract extensions, of course, the plan is also to make sure that players whose contracts are running down in 2027 and 2026 get new deals. Saka, Gabriel, Saliba, and this is already underway. So we've got quite a vast plan. We've got quite an expansive plan, and that's why we've started working on it quite early, because it's gonna be big, right? You're gonna have to deal with contracts, deal with departures, and deal with quality signings for this projects. I hope Andre Partey doesn't disappoint, because if this goes right, Arsenal are going to be in a very good situation.